Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to select a sprite in Scratch and how to change the backdrop or background. Also, we'll take a quick look at some few settings, then we'll look at how to move your sprite. So without much ado, let's get started. We'll start our programming by first adding a sprite to the workspace. To choose a sprite, we'll click on the first button over here, and then we are given a handful of sprites to choose from. It's been categorized at the top. So if you want animals, you can choose any of these animals. If you want people, you can choose any of these people. And if you want fashion also, you can choose any of these. So we are going to select a sprite. For the purpose of this tutorial, we'll select the cat. There are some few things we can do over here. We can change the name of the cat or the sprite. So we'll call this one my cat. We can also change the size of the sprite to any value. This is 50, but I'll keep mine at 100 to make it very visible. As we go on with the tutorial, I'll explain what the X value is and what the Y value is. But before then, bear in mind, this is our Y axis and this is our X axis. So the next thing I'm going to do is to change the backdrop or the background. So I'm going to select the forest. The purpose of this tutorial is to move our sprite or our cat from this side to this side, which is a movement on the X axis. So I'm going to click, hold and drop our cat over here. So as you can see, the values of X and Y has changed. Now we'll start with our coding. The first thing we are going to do is to go to motion, and then let's move 10 steps. Let's select this one, move 10 steps. Let me zoom in. So when you click on this, our sprite is going to move 10 steps. Alright, let me bring it back. Okay. So we can't always be clicking on our block of code over here. So let's introduce when flag is clicked. This code will make it possible for our sprite to move when we click this flag, like this. Before we'll start any code, we'll start with this block when flag is clicked. One thing that we have to take notice of over here is our cat is taking the 10 steps, but then its legs are not moving as if our cat is taking steps. Let me introduce a repeat so that it becomes obvious. So we come to controls and then repeat. Let me repeat the action for 40 times. So this function over here is going to repeat this movement for 40 times. So we've asked our cat to move 10 steps, and then this 10 steps is going to be repeated for 40 times. So in all, we are going to have the cat moving 400 steps. So let's click on the flag and see how it goes. Alright, this is what I'm saying. So the cat moved all the way from the left side to the right side, but then its legs were just static. It didn't show any sign of movement. Let's bring it back. So let's check out our costumes, whether we have another picture of the cat. Yes, we do have another picture. This is it. So when we introduce this next costume, it's going to create that impression that our cat is indeed walking. So let's go back to our code, and then under looks or inside looks, we are going to introduce this block of code called next costume. So now when we click the flag, it's going to look as if it's walking. Alright, we'll increase this value to 50 because I want the cat to move out of the frame. So let's see. Alright, so what we are going to do next is that after the cat has reached this part or moved out of the frame, I would want the cat to return to this position, and this position is -217. So let me check out 250 and see. Okay, so I'd want the cat to return to a position like this. We introduce a block of code under motion, called go to X, Y values. So I'll put this under the repeat function, and then the value is -250. So anytime the cat moves out of the frame by repeating these steps 50 times, it will then go back to an X position, which is -250, and then a Y position, which is -124. So let's see what happens with this. Alright, so our cat successfully moved out of the frame and then appeared here again. Let's take a look. In order to make this action continue over and over again, we'll introduce a block of code called forever. So this is going to cause the action to loop over and over again without stopping. So let's try and see. Okay. So we have successfully made our cat move from left to right. But then one thing I realize is the motion is very fast. The movement is very fast. So we can introduce a block of code called wait. You can put it over here or in between these two blocks of code. So I'll put mine over here. And then I'll change the wait time to 0.2. Okay, so we've managed to slow down the pace of the cat. If you still want it to be fast, you can change it back to 0. Then it will move fast, as if it's running. If you've been able to follow the tutorials to this stage, and you're able to write the codes just as I've written mine, then congratulations, you now know how to move your sprite from left to right. You also know how to repeat the action over and over again. Thanks for watching.